Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here, and I would like to say that from what the other speakers have said, you make me really proud. You know, you show that what we're doing is really worth it, and the work that we're doing is really important, and something is happening with regards to the goals that we're trying to meet. So I am from the Global Schools Program, which is an initiative of the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network. We are a primary and secondary education program working through a network of schools to support educators with training, curriculum, and methodologies to integrate sustainable development into education in the classroom to policy level. So we can all agree that the world is at a crossroads and we face a confluence of challenges: the climate change, the poverty, inequalities, and conflicts. I mean, last year we had the highest temperatures ever recorded in the world, last year in July. And we have a whole country that is sinking because of climate change. And we have about 800 million people that are undernourished today. So these are the kind of problems that we're facing on a day-to-day basis. They're not in an abstract sense. And I'm sure one of us, or all of us here, we are facing some of these issues on a day-to-day basis. But I think that I come here today as a beacon of hope. I think I embody the objective of the symposium. Young people, as young people, will bear that hope, and I believe we can turn that hope into solutions. There's a quote by C.S. Lewis that I like, and I think it kind of resonates with what Jeffrey Sachs said in the morning about how, you know, we have, if someone went to school because of the decisions that they're making. So it says that if we teach people without values, we risk making them clever devils. So we believe as global schools that education infused with the right values is not just a tool, but a transformative force. It is key to unlocking a sustainable, greener, and a more peaceful future. But why schools? Why don't we just go directly to, you know, the policymakers themselves? Why should we work with schools? Simply because they're the cornerstone of learning, reaching the heart of our communities. The world's population currently exceeds 8 billion, and 1.5 billion of those people are children that are in primary and secondary schools. So we believe that educators are uniquely positioned to have access and impact the critical knowledge and skills that are needed to solve our challenges that we're facing today. But strangely enough, in 2021, UNESCO conducted a study of 58,000 teachers to find out if they're interested in learning about the SDGs. And they were interested, but over 80% of them did not know how to do that. And in 2023, UNESCO did another study and found out that only 8% of educators worldwide, 8% of the countries worldwide are the ones that have integrated SDGs into their teaching. So there's a really wide gap. But then again, we have global schools. What sets global schools apart? I mean, we have talked about how the internet has got vast knowledge. You can just go to YouTube or Google how to integrate SDGs into art, how to integrate SDGs into mathematics. So why should you then go to global schools? At global schools, we provide free, accessible resources, lesson plans, toolkits, and case studies. And our resources are meticulously crafted by experts to navigate the diverse and evolving landscape of education worldwide. We provide teacher and leader program, our flagship training program, which is called the Advocates Program, offers a 6-month training and advocacy program with a certificate upon successful completion. But we go beyond resources. We foster a community, a bedrock of peer support, recognizing that in our interconnected world, collaboration is key. We have a saying in GSP at Global Schools which says, once an advocate, always an advocate. So even if you complete your 6 months, what you have learned, you take it home with you until, you're no more. So we extend our reach beyond classrooms, creating toolkits that inform policymakers and practitioners. In 2023, we launched Mission 4.7 in partnership with UNESCO and other organizations. And in 2022, we are really proud of this. We launched a critical toolkit that will make a difference in policymaking. It's called Practicing Education for Sustainable Development, a case study for educators. And we are also thought leaders in terms of discourses to do with SDGs and ESD. We presented conferences like the UNESCO World Conference on Sustainable Development and the United Nations Conference of Parties. We are amplifying the voice of educators and students. And in 2023, we were honored as one of the 100 most scalable and innovative K-12 education programs worldwide by the 100 Global Impact. So it kind of shows that the work that we're doing has global impact because we're selected out of 3,000 applications. I think that says something. So in over 6 years, in just 6 years actually, Global Schools has reached 1,800 schools in over 137 countries, impacting 225,000 learners. And these are not just numbers, they are stories of transformation. We have an advocate in Turkey who recently published, just last week, she published a paper titled Planning STEM Lessons with Global Schools Activity Guides, Climate Change and Energy. And it was presented at a national conference, which is like really a good thing because if we have our lesson plans and activity guides kind of inspiring educators to go beyond just implementing them in their classrooms, but also creating knowledge for other educators as well in their country, I think it's a win on our end. We have partnered with other organizations. For example, we've partnered with Siemens Energy to train 100 teachers and 3,000 students on SDG 7 using engaging and gamified curricula. We also have UN at Your Doorstep, a series which facilitates dialogues between young people and world leaders. Like recently, the last one we had the United Nations Assistant Secretary General for Youth Affairs. We had the Executive Director of Environment Program and former Norwegian Prime Minister. And we also have Jeffrey Sachs, is also one of the moderators for that program. So you get to have this, like this kind of a symposium on a month-on-month basis, but just online. So I think that's really cool. So our mission is to spread the message of SDG 4. It's really driven by a powerful truth that education for sustainable development is more than a hashtag. It's more than something that we say when we meet into these rooms and we just say, oh, ESD, ESD. We believe that, and we've been intentional about amplifying this message through our website, our social media platforms, case studies, and most importantly, the voices of our Global Schools advocates. The internet, with its boundless reach, allows us to share stories of our community, the baby steps, the monumental milestones, and we have managed to foster collaborations among advocates, creating a ripple effect of change. So we're always grateful for platforms like this because we can convene with like-minded leaders like yourselves, and we can forge collaborations for solutions. So I'm going to leave you with this. As long as we have schools, there's hope. And Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And I think we can still do that. Thank you.